What's going on, everybody? Back again today to talk about some more DC toy collectible related news. Just the other day, we got another set of 4, technically 6 figures that are going to be coming to us from McFarlane's DC Multiverse line. They are all based on characters' appearances from the Batman 3 Jokers storyline. And as you can see here, we've got obviously the 3 Jokers, a Red Hood, Batgirl, and Batman. We're going to take a look and talk about each one of these figures individually. But overall, just want to take a moment and be like, this is a weird set, because on the one hand, I'm like, 3 Jokers was not a very well regarded storyline. A lot of people really didn't like it. A lot of people really think it was really lackluster. It was something that was teased initially back in 2016, and it took them till 2021, or the very end at least of 2020, to actually complete the 3 Jokers storyline and get it out there for us to read. And what is that? That's 4 or 5 years just to get this shit done. And as everyone knows, when it comes to stuff like comics, if you tease something but then you don't give it to us for another 4 to 5 years, chances are by the time it comes out, 1, we don't really give much of a shit about it anymore as the audience, and then 2, so much in that 4 or 5 year time frame, so much other comic book shit has come out that this story you teased 4 or 5 years ago probably is not too relevant anymore. And that's basically what it comes down to with the 3 Jokers storyline. By the time they finally got it done, it had really no real impact on the DC comic book universe at all. By the time this story came out, Dark Knight's death metal was in full swing, or it was pretty much done, if not already done, and we were moving into Infinite Frontier. So this whole concept that was teased in this story arc of 3 Jokers, that there's not 1 Joker, there are 3, and there have been 3 the entire time, that was kind of abandoned. Like, yeah, we still got the story, but it's basically a black label story at this point. It's not canon, I don't believe, and really so it kind of goes along with what I've been saying, where it's like, I don't think Todd McFarlane has as much control over this line of action figures as we would like to think. I have a feeling that he's getting a lot of direction from DC executives, people high up in the DC food chain, DC Comics food chain, and they're telling him, like, hey, you need to make a wave of figures based on this comic book story, because we need, the figures and the notoriety of your toy line to help sell the comic book story. So, yeah. That being said, though, on the other hand, I'm kind of like, you know what, it's a Batman story, and while I do not really care too much for the 3 Jokers, the Red Hood looks dope, the Batgirl looks like an improvement over the previous Batgirl, and, of course, the Batman looks awesome. And like I said, we're going to get into each one of these individually, but, yeah, it's kind of like the Red Hood, the Batgirl, and the Batman. Yes, we already have versions of these characters in this line. With the exception of maybe Red Hood, out of those 3, Red Hood, Batgirl, and Batman, with the exception of maybe Red Hood, it looks like, the Batman and the Batgirl are definite improvements. But anyway, let's just get into it. Let's talk about each of these figures. So first off, we've got the 3 Jokers. I believe there was the Clown, the Criminal, and I forget what the third one was, because it just doesn't fucking matter. Yeah, I don't really see much sense in getting any of these at all. We will see. It's not going to be something that I pre-order online or order off of Amazon. It's going to be something that I wait to actually take a look at and see in the stores, and see how it looks on the shelves, on the pegs in the stores. And if they look nice, maybe I'll get one. But I can tell you right now, I have really no desire to get the one right on the left there with the red jacket and the flower. Really don't care for that. The middle one, no, because a Joker figure that's not that doesn't have a big crazy smile just seems like a waste to me. And then the one on the right, which is the Killing Joke, that might be a nice piece to own if you're a big fan of the Killing Joke. I wonder if that hat is removable or if it's like sculpted onto the head. Who knows? But the main reason that I'm not really concerned with any of these is because we have gotten 4 Joker figures from McFarlane since he acquired the DC license, or at least we will in the near future. So the first one, actually, this one, the White Knight Joker, which I can kind of understand if you don't really count this as a typical Joker figure. It is very specific to this comic book story arc, the White Knight story arc. But we got this guy and this guy in the same wave. Shortly after that, we got this Joker, which I just hate. I don't like it at all, but it's still another Joker. And then we've got this Joker coming out very soon in the Mortal Kombat wave. So especially between these 3 Jokers and these 3 Joker heads, you should be able to get yourself a pretty decent comic book Joker. You know, get 1 or 2 of these, do some head swaps, do some kit bash. This head is actually made to be swapped out on this one, so you put this head on this body or on one of the other bodies. We have 4 Jokers at this point that are from McFarlane Toys, and they're in the 7-inch scale. So it just kind of makes me go, 3 more Jokers? Like, I get it. It's, you know, for those people who want the 3 Jokers, the clown, the criminal, and whatever the hell the third one is, and you read the 3 Jokers line, comic book arc, and you actually really liked it, then it appeals to you. But as I've already said, the 3 Jokers story arc, no one really cares. By the time it came out, people were over it. No one really cared about it. We'd forgotten about it. It wasn't relevant in the overall goings-on of the DC Comics universe anymore. And yeah, now it's just this like one-off, black label, doesn't matter who could give a fuck story about the idea that there might be 3 Jokers. And like, just who gives a shit, you know? So the 3 Jokers, you know, get them if you want. There's really no point, though, in my opinion. So one last look at them right here. I'm guessing, yeah, this is the clown. I'm guessing this is the criminal, and this is the crazy lunatic. I don't know. But anyway. So moving on to the Red Hood. I will probably get this guy if I see him in stores, just because with DC, with McFarlane's Multiverse line, I have yet to, there are so many figures that he has made, and they're out now. I've seen people have done YouTube video reviews of them, and you know, so they're out, but I have yet to see them ever in stores. One of those is Red Hood. Never once saw Red Hood in the stores. So either COVID prevented enough of these from hitting stores, or scalpers and other just collectors who are much more on their game than I am, they knew the day they were coming out, they got in there and they bought them up before anyone else could get in there, or it's a combination of the two due to COVID reducing the amount that were hitting stores. Basically, if you didn't pre-order it at your local comic book store or online, then you weren't getting one. Either way, I did not get the original Red Hood. I never even saw it in stores. So if I see this one, I will probably pick it up. And I gotta say, it's a nice look for Red Hood. It is 100% signature to the 3 Jokers storyline. It does not, I can tell you right now, this look for Red Hood does not occur anywhere else. And if you take a look here, this is his more traditional comic book look in the past few years, which is, it's not a bad look, but something that I really hate when any comic book company or any story tries to do is try to take a supporting character and help turn them into their own thing and have them stand on their own, but they refuse to just let them truly be their own thing. And what I'm talking about here is, he's not Robin anymore, he's Red Hood, he's using guns, so he's clearly abandoned all of Bruce Wayne's teachings about not killing. He is his own character, he's supposed to be his own character, so why in all fuck does he still wear the bat symbol? And you'd think that if he was running around with guns shooting people, Bruce would have a big problem with him wearing the bat symbol while doing that. So the Red Hood, this version, seems better to me. I like this version. That red on his body armor suit underneath his jacket is just, overall it looks good. Red and black, it's very sleek, very clean. I really like it. If I see this guy in the store, I will pick him up. If I don't see him in the store, and it comes down to I have to choose one of the two Red Hoods to buy offline, you know, I'd like to say I'll still get this one, but at that point it's probably going to come down to whichever one I can get cheaper, unfortunately. But the more I look at this one, the more I'm like, yo, this is the Red Hood to go with. You know, if anyone who's collecting toys and has been collecting toys for a while, you know, somewhere you have a little bucket or container that just contains all of the unused guns and swords and little figure accessories that you don't have on display with figures at the moment. So you've probably got some guns that can fit into this guy's hands. It doesn't look like he's going to come with any guns. It looks like he's just going to come with the crowbar, but we'll get more info as time goes on and we get more pictures. But as of right now, this Red Hood looks dope. I think he's definitely worth your money. So moving on to Batgirl. This looks very much like her New 52 costume, the version of her costume that she wore when Barbara Gordon first came back to being Batgirl after she recovered from being paralyzed by the Joker. I like this Batsuit. Why? Because I think it achieves that perfect balance of, like, it has enough color in it to be a comic book superhero costume, but at the same time it also looks, I don't know, a little more durable, a little more protective. It doesn't look as campy and flamboyant as the previous Batgirl figure that we got. And just for reference, here it is. You know, a light gray bodysuit, lots of bright yellow, nothing on her head. Like what is this, like a bat ear tiara she put on her head under her hair, and then just a mask. And I know people are going to shit on me and be like, well, all Dick Grayson wears is Nightwing, it's just a mask. Yeah, I think that's kind of lame too. I know that's pretty much his staple look right at this point in time. So to try and change it probably would not be well received. But with Batgirl, you know, for the most part in her history, she's worn a full cowl like Batman wears. So putting her in something like this, not only does it make her look a little more like believably ready to fight crime, it helps to, you know, with the idea of like it's concealing her identity. Overall, I like this costume just a lot better. I think it's a much better costume for Batgirl. I will be picking this one up if and when I see it. Even if I don't see it in the stores, I will be buying it offline and having it delivered. I think this is definitely a good idea to get this one. No idea yet if it's going to be the exact same body mold as the previous one, because we all know that the very first Batgirl we got turned out rather tall. She was a little too tall. She was the exact same height as Nightwing. You know, when she's standing, when you have her displayed on a shelf with the rest of the figures, it's not super noticeable. But just having her like right next to one other character in the line, like Nightwing, then it's kind of like, oh wow, she's a little too tall. Who knows if this is going to be the same height? Same thing with like Red Hood. We will get more information as time goes on. We get more pictures of the figure released and the accessories it's going to come with, and yada yada. But as of right now, definitely picking up this Batgirl. So now we have arrived at the piece of this wave, the figure in this wave that everyone's going to be after, and that's the Batman. And why is this important? Why are people going to be all over this motherfucker? It's because this is finally the best this is Todd McFarlane's best take right here. I can already tell. It's the best take he's ever done of just a typical comic book Batman. There it is, right there. Now, something I didn't really expect is that we were going to go with the yellow oval and the old school capsule belt. Oh well. Something that I've thought about doing is anyone who's collected DC McFarlane DC Multiverse, you know that the pelvic area and the belt are all one piece, and it's like this almost like weird diaper underwear thing that goes over the figure to hide all the inner workings of the joints. So the belt and this like underwear piece is a separate piece. So if you really don't like that belt and you really do want a more traditional comic book looking Batman, you could try using the belt and trunks piece from the Detective Comics 1000 Batman, maybe try heating up this one of these legs, popping it off, swapping out that piece, and then putting the leg back on. You'd have a better belt, and you'd have the black trunks. If you want an even better looking belt, a more realistic looking utility belt that actually looks like a damn utility belt, you could maybe get a hold of an extra Arkham Asylum Batman from McFarlane Toys and try swapping the belt and trunks piece of that figure. And then you would have this just very typical black and gray costume Batman with a, decent utility belt, black trunks, and the yellow oval bat symbol. Now, the fact that we're getting this figure, it makes me happy. But now I'm about to say something that kind of contradicts what I've always said. Todd McFarlane, if you would like to give us variants of this figure, that would be dope. And what I mean by variants is, if you want to release this figure exactly the way it is, but with just some slight modifications to it, for instance, a better belt, and that's it. That's the only difference. I'll probably buy it. If you want to release this figure with the black bat on the chest instead of the yellow oval, I'll probably buy it. If you want to release this exact same figure just with a slightly different head sculpt with longer ears for people who like a Batman with longer ears, people will probably buy it. What you've got right here is what is going to be the definitive Batman for people's collection. Detective Comics 1000 Batman, goodbye, throw that thing in the trash. This is what it's going to be. This is going to be the definitive Batman for the Multiverse collection. Which is a little odd. It both is and is not a little odd. Mainly because this is not how Batman has looked at all for a very long time. We're talking comics, video games, animated movies, TV shows, live action TV shows. This is not how Batman has looked. He's had a very modern, very what's the word I'm looking for? Very modern, very practical looking utility belt. He's had the black bat on the chest, and he's had longer ears. Let's think about it. Let's Ben Affleck's Batman, big black bat, ears are about the same, but big black bat, modern, very practical utility belt. The Arkham video games, black bat, better utility belt, longer ears for sure. The DC animated movies, it's either been black and gray or blue and gray, but it's always had the black bat on the chest and a better utility belt. What else? Comics. Since early, I want to say 2019, Batman has been back to black and gray costume, slightly longer ears, black bat on the chest, black trunks, leather pouch, practical utility belt. So for Todd to choose this seems a little weird, but I did do some research, and what I found out is that very soon now, if it hasn't already happened, James Tynion IV is no longer going to be writing Batman. A new writer is going to come in and take over, and this new writer is going to change up the Batsuit, and it is going to look a lot like this. I think the belt is going to be a little bit different, but that's about it. Other than the belt being a little bit different, when this new writer takes over writing the monthly Batman comic book series, Batman's pretty much going to look like this. Gray bodysuit, black boots, black gloves, black cape and cowl, no black trunks, yellow bat oval, and a slightly different belt. So, maybe that's why Todd chose this. Maybe he thought, it goes in line with the Three Jokers story that I'm being told by DC to make figures of, to try and help sell the book. And then on top of that, it also goes with what Batman's going to be wearing in his own monthly comic book series, starting in the near future until further notice. So maybe that's why he chose it. Regardless, this is a 100% must get. Pre-order it, buy 2 of them. you're gonna want to do some, everyone, you're gonna want to do some customization. You're gonna want to do some kit bashing. You're gonna want to try and fiddle with it and see if what kind of combinations. Can you change out the belt and the trunks? Can you swap some heads? Can you remove that bat emblem off the chest and put a black bat? You guys know you're gonna want to be doing this kind of stuff. So my advice: buy 2 of them, buy 3 of them. But definitely buy at least one to keep just like this, and not risk fucking it up. And then buy a second or third one if you want to kit bash and screw around with it and try to customize it. So that's my plan, at least. And other than that, that's really all I've got for you guys today. Just wanted to show off these new figures. I'm guessing this is going to be the last set of figures announced for 2021. I'm thinking we are not going to get any new figures from McFarlane announced for 2021, because he's announced a lot already that we have not yet seen hit stores. I live on the West Coast, and the town I live in has a shipping port. So usually prior to COVID, we would get stuff before the rest of the country. Things would come in here off the ships and just immediately go to the store, get put on trucks and go right to the stores. And that's not happening for one reason or another. Like, there are so many McFarlane DC Multiverse figures that he's announced that I have never yet seen that I have not yet seen them hit stores. So, and he just keeps announcing more. My guess is these technically 6 figures are the last ones that we're going to hear about for the rest of 2021. Who knows what 2022 will bring us? But yeah, so that's my thoughts on these new figures. Let me know what you guys think. Please leave some comments down below, get a discussion started. If you liked what you saw here in this video, please hit the like button. Check out some of the other videos on my channel, maybe subscribe, and other than that, I will see you guys next time.